Welcome to Africa True Story.
We decided to check two Nestle baby food brands sold in lower income countries. One is Cerelac. We're speaking about the leading baby food cereal brand worldwide, and the other is Nido. This is a growing up milk brand, also very popular in low and middle income countries. And we tried to check the amount of sugar that is added by Nestle in those products. And what we found was quite shocking. In the sense that we found very high levels of sugar added by Nestle in the product. On average, 1 sugar cube in a serving in Nestle Cerelac baby cereals, and they are intended for 6 months babies, so that's quite a lot. The highest amount we found was 7.3 grams in a serving in a product sold in the Philippines, so that's nearly 2 sugar cubes in a serving. And for Nido, the amount that we found was a bit lower, on average 2 grams in a serving, but still in Central America we found a product with very high levels of sugar. We're talking about 5.3 grams in a serving. Now, what is really shocking with this is that in Switzerland, all the similar products sold by Nestle, they're sold without any added sugar. I can show you, for example, this product here. This is Nestle's baby cereal sold in Switzerland. Now, if you read here, it says without added sugar, sans sucre ajouté. Now, the product that is being sold in low and middle income countries is this one, Cerelac, and it has on average 1 sugar cube in a serving. Sugar, but then it says 15.5. The Swiss equivalent is here. You see it's not exactly the same brand, but that's the product that is being sold in Switzerland. It has no added sugar and 4 grams in a serving. Mm-hmm. So that is one country where they have to indicate that. All the growing up milks sold by Nestle in Switzerland are without any added sugar, while in low and middle income countries you find 2 grams on average in the product. And the situation is similar in key European markets. We've also had a look at Germany, France and the UK, which are the main markets for Nestle in Europe, and the situation is the same. Most baby cereals and growing up milk products sold by Nestle are also without any added sugar. Around the world, you see recommendations not to put any sugar in your baby foods. All the vitamins, all the minerals, and they see no sugar, so great. So we confronted Nestle with our findings, and their response is basically that they comply with all national legislations and international standards. And this is true. But as I mentioned, they have a huge influence on the way national legislations and codex standards are being developed. And so, of course, they comply with those standards. But the practice is, from our point of view, problematic from an ethical point of view, but also a public health point of view. Nestle also says that they have reduced by 30% the amount of sugar in their baby cereals, and that they're also removing part of the added sugar from the Nido product. But in fact, what we're seeing is that they keep adding loads of sugar in those products, while in Switzerland they have removed completely. And also Nestle says a bit, this was a strange response we got from Nestle. They are saying that you have a small variation in the recipes of product might happen, depending on the availability of local ingredients, but also local preferences. And that is really surprising, because we're not talking about small variations, It's a clear double standard. Sugar here, no sugar there. That's one. And then this variation is not the result of local availability of ingredients. I mean, sugar is available. If they want to add it, they just add it. They've removed it in Switzerland and Europe for other reasons, because they know that consumers don't accept it anymore. And I don't think that babies in Africa, in Asia, or in any other low and middle income country like more sugar than babies in Switzerland or in Europe. I mean, we all like the sweet food, and that's what they know, and that's what they use to hook us on the product. That's quite common, no?
It's like a huge difference between the lower sugar level.
Like, be careful, sugar is a risk factor for obesity, many illnesses. We did this investigation with the International Baby Food Action Network, IPFAN. They have a local organization in many countries around the world, so they helped us collect the product, send them to Switzerland, and send them for a lab for the sugar analysis. Because what you have to know is that in most countries, the amount of added sugar is not indicated on food labels. But then in the end, it's a member states, so it's an intergovernmental organizations. It's quite ironic because the World Health Organization and basically there is a consensus at the global level that added sugar is the key public enemy when it comes to nutrition and health. But on the other hand, you don't find the information about the amount of added sugar on the package of the product. So this is why we had to send the product to a lab for doing the analysis. Now, on the other hand, what we did was when we got the results of the analysis, we shared the results with IPFAN people in those countries, but also experts in nutrition, pediatricians, doctors, and their reaction was, they were shocked. They were shocked by the level that we found, because we're talking about product targeted at babies from 6 months. So very high levels, but they were also even more concerned about the fact that in Switzerland and key European markets, Nestle was able to remove the sugar from its product, but they keep adding sugar in lower income countries, and to them, this is a double standard that is really problematic from both an ethical point of view, but also a public health point of view. Because those countries, we have to realize that low and middle income countries are now facing an obesity epidemic. It used to be a problem that was mainly that was mainly affecting high-income countries in Europe, in the US, but now it's spreading around the world because there was this transition towards increased consumption of processed foods. So now the majority of the people in the world that are obese live in low and middle-income countries, and what you're seeing is an increase in the chronic diseases linked to obesity, like diabetes, but also cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, cancers, and so on. And so those countries are really faced with an epidemic of obesity, and we know that those 2 first years of life are critical. And this is really the moment when you define your preferences that will last all lifelong. But also this is a moment when you're vulnerable. Of course, a 6-month baby is quite vulnerable. That's his first foods. And so this is why the World Health Organization and many others have recommended no added sugar at all in baby foods. Because we know that's really a risk factor, a main reason why we are now facing this obesity epidemic. This one is Nigeria. Well, I think it created a huge scandal, especially in India. In India, the story made the headlines during 2-3 days, and it's still making the headlines. Because of this double standard, when people realize that they get lower quality product while the company is able to remove sugar in its home country but keeps adding it in India, I mean, it created really a huge scandal. And the government has announced that it will open an investigation. We just heard today that they're collecting Cerelac product and they will analyze the sugar content of the product. So we'll see what happens. But similar actions were taken in other parts of the world, like for example in Nigeria and in Bangladesh. Also, the government opened an investigation. I can also have a look at. We have launched a petition demanding Nestle to remove added sugar from all its products around the world, as they've done in Switzerland. If they've done it in Switzerland, why don't they do it everywhere in the world? That's one. But the other angle is that we'd like to push for a revision of Codex standards, because really that's the key. Codex is where you have the global standard defined about what your food product can contain, including baby food. And so if at Codex we get a revision of the standards to make clear that no sugar can be added to baby foods, this will have a global impact, because countries will reflect that in their own national legislation. And in fact, the World Health Organization has issued a call to revise Codex standards with a view to remove, to ban the addition of any sugar in baby food. So we're hoping that Switzerland, which is the home country of Nestle, will take up its responsibility and take the lead at Codex to revise those standards. And we hope that Switzerland will be joined by other countries so that we have a consensus around that. We target Nestle because we're a Swiss-based organization and Nestle is based in Switzerland. So that's what we do. We target Swiss companies. So we're not planning to open investigation on other companies, but we hope that others will do, because it's clear that Nestle is not the only company doing this around the world. This is probably a practice that is widespread. Now, Nestle is the number one on this market. No, it has a 20% share, and this is also why we decided to look at its product, because every year around the world you have millions of children that consume Nestle's product. This is a huge responsibility. No, what is being decided here in Switzerland has a massive global impact.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to receive updates on our latest videos. And always remember, Africa is watching.